Before we get into the latest Cowboys injury news, make sure you guys are subscribed. We are trying to catch up and beat our 49ers channel here at the Cowboys Report in subs. 160 versus 216. We've gained ground, still have room to grow. Hit that sub button for more free Cowboys videos each and every single day. Unfortunately, we have some bad Cowboys injury news to start here. John Stephens Jr., as was reported today by Todd Archer and confirmed by Mike McCarthy, his season's over. He suffered a torn ACL on Wednesday, and what really sucks here for John Stephens Jr. is it's the same ACL he tore once already. That's 2 ACL tears in barely a year that it's heartbreaking for the kid because he came back from the injury, he made the team, he hadn't been active, there were some question marks as to if he should be active or not, and now he's out for the year again. So he'll go on IR. I wouldn't be shocked if someone like Princeton Fant gets some practice squad call-ups if needed, but it does open up a potential roster spot to use elsewhere, but it really sucks for John Stephens Jr. Now, on a more lighthearted note, I would argue, Brandon Aubrey has not been at practice the past 2 days because of jury duty. I don't know how he didn't get out of it. He's going to play. I want to emphasize that part. He will play. He will be out there on Sunday because there's no jury duty on Sunday. Courts aren't in session. You don't have to go. So he will be with the team. He'll fly out with the team on Saturday. He'll be available. It's just kind of humorous that, of course, this happens to Dallas. When has this ever happened to an NFL player? The judge played college football. He's like, nope, you're going to show up for your jury duty. I guess credit to Aubrey for showing up, but I'm really shocked he couldn't find a way to get out of that one. Let's go to DaRon Bland, and this one I am pretty darned concerned about. Didn't practice on Wednesday, was again in the rehab group on Thursday. We have enough evidence now to state this outright. DaRon Bland had a setback. That is what has happened here. Now, we mentioned this on our Sunday video on injury stuff, because Stephen Jones kind of said it, that kind of got buried in all the other Jerry Jones drama happened this past week. Stephen said this last week. He had a little setback late in the week in terms of soreness, and we just didn't want to push that issue. But give him another 2 full weeks to build his confidence, to get out there and not have a setback was worth not having him out there. Look, he had the full extra week of recovery time in the bye week, and he didn't practice on Wednesday at all. Then was it on the cords on Thursday to the open media portion. That's bad. He should be a full participant right now, and he's not. It is very clear to me there was a setback. And that sucks. Look, it happens. It's football. You're coming back from a stress fracture in your foot. It's not always going to be instantly better the same way that, maybe a more normal broken finger, whatever is. But that sucks. Now, here's where you're at with DaRon Bland. There's another week left in his window before he has to be put on the active roster. It's not quite over yet at this time. But this is highly concerning and highly troubling for me, because I am sounding the concern alarm. So prediction time. Do you think DaRon Bland will play against the 49ers? Y for yes, N for no. Let me know in the comments section of today's show. Let's talk Kayden Carson, the other corner here. Now, I'm very curious what happens here, because he's been a full participant with that shoulder injury for over 2 weeks now. And he didn't play in the last game despite it. They called up Amani Oruwariye instead. Oruwariye is out of call-ups. So if Bland can't go, that's Diggs Lewis, and is it back to Kayden Carson at corner? The shoulder's clearly bothering him. He's able to practice through it. Maybe this is one of the examples of, he's been practicing, but he just doesn't look right still out there. Maybe one of those deals. We'll see on Sunday what his injury status ends up being, if he's active or not. Won't spend too much time here on Marist Liufau. This is trending in the correct direction. Everything looks good on this front. A full participant with a shoulder injury. That had been lingering from previous weeks. Still on the injury report, so it's bothering him. But he's been full. He's been playing. I'm not too worried about that one. All right, Eric Kendricks was limited on Wednesday with a shoulder, so the calf part is off of the injury report. Now it is just the shoulder injury. And in most cases, unless you get hurt during practice, as was the case tragically for John Stevens Jr., if you are limited on Wednesday, that means you'll be able to play. There are exceptions, like all things with injuries. Never as always cut and dry as you might want it to be, as I might want it to be. But limited on Wednesday normally means you're playing. So I'm not too worried about Eric Kendricks, and I feel pretty solid about him being able to go against the 49ers, the team that he once briefly signed with, or at least agreed to sign with. Today's show is made possible by Prize Picks. It is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. You can up to 100 times your money with as little as 4 correct picks on Prize Picks. It is available in over 30 states, including California, Georgia, Florida, and Texas as well. It is the only real money daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy. So if someone gets hurt in the first half, does not return, your picks and your lineup stay live. Now, here's one of my flex play options. That way I can only got to get 2 out of these. In case I get one wrong, I still come out on top. Joe Burrow, more than passing yards. Joe Mixon and Najee Harris, more than rushing yards in their respective games. So download the app today over at prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. The $50 bonus, by the way, is guaranteed. You don't even need to win. Just got to play that $5 lineup. Now, the only change outside of technically John Stevens going for limited to the DNP, but we had the torn ACL, so we knew that already. Nick Vigil was limited on Wednesday, did not practice on Thursday with his foot injury. That's probably not a good sign. Nick Vigil had battled that foot injury last game against the Lions, was limited, played through it, played in the football game. I wonder if there's been a bit of a setback here, or if he's just battling whatever that foot injury is a bit more severe than what we had previously thought. This probably isn't the biggest deal in the world, because I want to give my snaps to DeMarvin Overshown. I want to give them to Eric Kendricks. I want to give them to Marist Liufau. I think you'll see Kendricks back out there. You'll have Overshown, Liufau. You've got Buddy Johnson. You have linebackers. But I don't like seeing players who are on your roster go from DNP to limited. That's normally a bad sign. If you're limited all week long, you'll probably play. If you go from limited to did not participate, that is not a good sign at all. So I am concerned about the Nick Vigil injury. Micah Parsons is next up here, and I don't feel good about this, folks. Micah didn't practice on Wednesday. McCarthy said he was not going to practice on Thursday either, none of which bodes well here. There was the report on Monday that he was still limping around the star. I don't think he's as close as I had hoped he was going to be. And that's okay. But I think that the chances of Micah playing this week they're not looking great right now. So I'll give some more thoughts here in a second. But first, I want to hear from you guys. What is the percent chance that Micah Parsons plays against the 49ers? Let me know in the comments section of today's show. I'm not feeling confident here, which sucks because you don't have a pass rush right now. It's so bad. This was the earliest possible window. It was basically 3.5 weeks from his high ankle sprain. That is technically doable, but also challenging and a bit unlikely. I am hoping that you get him back for the next game after this, because it still fits to not put him on the IR because of the bye week timing and everything. But I'm not feeling great about this one, which sucks because your pass rush is bad. Your pass rushes are not good. It's going to be Chauncey Golston and KJ Henry and Tyrus Wheat and Carl Lawson looks like a shell of himself. No NFL team is built to handle your top 4 pass rushers getting hurt. And you could even argue your 5th pass rusher being so bad he didn't make the team in Junior Fehoko. No team is built to handle that. The backups will once again be playing, it sounds like. Next up is Ryan. It's not Flournoy. The R is silent, apparently. So I've been saying it wrong the entire time, and I'm very sorry, Ryan. It's Ryan like Flournoy. Like the R doesn't exist. or Flournoy. It's one of those two. So I'm very sorry, Ryan. Limited on Wednesday with an ankle. I'm not too worried about that one. Limited normally means you're going to be good to go. That did pique my interest. Like, hey, could this be like your fake injury to put somebody on IR, but to get a rush spot, but you don't have bodies at receiver right now, so kind of doesn't make much sense. I don't know if he's going to play, though, very much. You have CeeDee Lamb, Jalen Tolbert, Turpin, Brooks, and Ryan. Like, you don't have the available bodies to not have him be active. So the R is apparently silent in his name, which I did not realize. Finally is Jordan Phillips, which is the wrist injury. And this is maybe a fake injury. He was a full participant as he is back at practice. His 21-day window is open. That does not mean he has to be activated against the Niners game. I would bet it's probably not. Mostly because he was terrible the last time we saw him, and the injury was an injury of convenience because he was unplayable at that point. He was your worst defensive lineman. Maybe the time off will be better for him. Who knows? Do you want Jordan Phillips back? A for yes, B for no. Let me know in the comments section of today's show. The guy I saw on film last year and the guy I saw on film this year, different players. They don't even look similar. Like, they look like the same guy. Not the same guy. They look like completely different players. I think Phillips may have had some bad weight on him, frankly. Hopefully the time off got him into shape and can use this week to get into game shape, etc. There's a very inappropriate phrase I can say here about what your defensive line looks like and your bad options, but it's a bad group. It is a bad group at this moment. I don't have great hopes for things getting better in this particular season.